Hi love. In the age of algorithms where basically everyone is qualified to be a critic, hi there, think pieces just flood our For You pages before facts even have a chance to be heard. Recently a famous couple, Jalen and Monet, I know who Monet is, but I didn't know she had a boyfriend, or is it husband? I'm not sure. But they're a couple that are very highly successful within the content creation world. But anyway, that's not the point. They made a purchase on their house and they've been showing their journey on how they're decorating it and just making it their own. And get this, they show that they have a small cottage on their property.
So when I bought my house, one of the main reasons was because it came with a guest house. This guest house was built in 1850, and today I want to give you a tour. And what makes it so unique is that it's got everything you possibly could need in it. It's that close to the main house, but this is the front door. You've got an entire first floor with a loft-style bedroom upstairs, but I'm going to go into the details. It's got pretty much everything you need: an espresso machine, a microwave, electric stovetop, nice sink, cabinets. It's got a fridge, washer and dryer, some storage, and then a full bath, even a filtered shower head, Jolie skin. And I'm trying to figure out spacing in here. I think a couch would have been great, but I also want to put a dining table, so I know the couch probably has to be pushed somewhere against that wall. TV here. I don't know. So if you got any suggestions, please let me know. And this is where we sleep. It's got HVAC on it, so it gets hot in here, it gets cold in here. Beautiful views. Full-size bed can sleep 2 people, or a person and 2 dogs. Really cool mantelpiece, awesome chandelier. That's what we just came from, and this is the guest house. The old school log cabin style guest house is just another way that I can have family and friends over. They can stay as long as they want, and I don't have to get sick of them, and they don't have to get sick of me. So yeah, that is the tour.
And as soon as people saw that, they were like, yeah, that is definitely a slave lodge or slave plantation, slave cabin. I don't know what you call it, but something to do with slavery because of how it looks. After that, without evidence, thousands of people started to go on their comment section, basically just canceling them, like how dare they renovate or even own property that was once a slave plantation.
My man built me an at-home gym. We're about to get our first pump in, okay? Today's glutes. We're so fun.
This house has returned to my attention. Like, it just gives me such a weird feeling because I don't even think it needs to be repurposed. Burn it down. It's just something so icky about keeping the outside exactly how it was.
I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Y'all turning a fucking plantation into a content house is the equivalent of y'all going to a concentration camp being like, ooh.
That video of Monet working out on her plantation gym just pissed me the fuck off. And I'm not even like a, pro-black. Well, I am pro-black, but I'm not like, I'm not overly woke.
For this, by the way, no evidence, no one has said anything. Not only that, my For You page, which is very highly Americanized, by the way, very American, very South African, so I get I get like both sides of the world. But anyway, there were many people making think pieces about, how dare they, every major think piece person was like out there talking about it and bashing them and like, how dare they, with no actual factual evidence. And a lot of people fell for it, went to their accounts, started bullying them and doing, everything in the book, doxing them. Okay, not doxing them because, everyone knows where they live by now. They're showing that to us. But there was a lot of negative impact on their brand. Hi love, welcome back to my channel. I feel like I never have an intro or introduce myself. My name is Tanya, if you don't know. I am currently 6 months or near 7 months pregnant right now. That's why I'm a bit I'm so tired. My back hurts, everything hurts. But anyway, also shout out to the people that are listening to this on a podcast. Yes, I have a podcast. Yeah, link in the description. Listen to this while you're exercising. I don't know, we like to yap. I guess I am one of the people that I'm talking about the whole think piece thing. But anyway, let's get right into this video. So after all that, Jalen did finally put an end to this hate train.
So I'm currently in my renovation era. I think it's been a lot of fun to renovate my current home gym, but now we're getting ready to renovate my guest house, and I want to take you with me. And I've started the interior decorating process that I want to show you, but I also want to talk about what I plan to do with my guest house and the history behind it. And for the history, I hired a genealogist and reached out to an architectural historian to tell me everything I need to know about this cabin. First, this was an early settler's cabin, which converted to a hunting lodge and now currently serves as my guest house. I also found out that someone with the last name Noble used to live here, which I thought was pretty cool. And with this house being built in 1850, I do want to acknowledge the fact that I feel an overwhelming sense of empowerment every time I see it. There are no ties to slavery on this property, but as a black man, I am able to own a house that 175 years ago we were not able to. And it sits in the middle of my courtyard, which has my gym and my main house in it, so I'm excited to kind of update this guest house to make it a little more presentable. And I think that starts with refreshing the porch. It needs some new wood to make it a little more modern. And this is the side of the guest house you'll see first, so I think adding some trellises with some star jasmines going up it will really soften it. And for the interior, this is the living room. The kitchen is still a work in progress. The stovetop doesn't currently work, but still got the espresso machine. And this is the loft, which I think feels like a bedroom. And I kind of feel like I'm playing real life Sims because I see a house like this and think there's so many small details that I want to change that'll make a huge difference. Like the ones I explain are adding windows, changing the doors. I think eventually I'd love to take it down and kind of extend my house to add more space for a family. But for now, the next few years, this is the guest house.
That's the thing though, the damage is already done. Who knows what impact it had on their accounts or businesses, the negativity, the bullying, all that had already been done without actual factual information. And that's really what I want to get into with today's video. It's not about them, but just how the spread of misinformation, especially when it comes to black creators, is just not, I mean, the think piece, I know I'm always talking about it, the think piece economy is just rising and rising, and time again we are shown that we should not listen to them, especially when it's just opinion and not fact, especially on social media platforms such as TikTok and Twitter. Like, because of the saturation within the content creation world in general, the only way to really get, the views for some people is to talk crap, is to talk things that aren't factual and just to get the views and get the money. It's no longer about integrity and just having good intentions behind what you say and having a good conclusion. This is why I have a YouTube channel, because I do like to yap. I do like to have these think pieces, right? But I feel like on YouTube, you have a more bigger place to ground yourself and give a backstory, do a little bit more research. Like, I have to be more careful over here than on TikTok, where you have like 30 seconds to get someone in, which means that you're using words or jargon. You're using words to just capture people's attention. Where here, my title and my thumbnail is what's catching people's attention, and I'm seeing now a lot of information or content that's supposed to be educational is no longer educational, but just like entertainment, but like people are using, all these big words to sound like they're saying something that makes sense when it actually doesn't. Like, there is no room for nuance. There's no room for critical analysis. There's no room to take a breath and digest the information and then say out your opinion. It's just like, whatever headline is there, let's just go with it. Let's not do any more research. Let's just tap on it because it's just popular. It's popular to hate. Like, hate is just spreading like wildfire, and I feel like it's trickling down to real life. Also, the misinformation that's just spewing out, people aren't realizing that these negative comments or think pieces that they make have a huge impact on the actual people. Have you ever been cancelled? I have, on Twitter. That's why I don't have Twitter anymore. But anyway, it's a terrible thing. Especially for something that's not true. I think that's what the worst thing is. It's especially something that's not true. And people always like, oh, but like, these creators should, it's the internet. What do you expect? But we're all individuals. Like, shouldn't we all make, individual decisions to be better people? And it's often the creators that are talked about and bashed on that are left to clean up the mess. It's never the people that do the mess, Like, if I talk about somebody in my video and they literally call me out or say whatever they said was, and then they debunk what I said, like it wasn't correct, like my conscience will tell me, like, in my next video, I'm gonna say that, hey, I'm so sorry, or I'm gonna DM them, or, but that's the thing. If you do something publicly, I think you also have to apologize publicly. And that's what I think the people that are bashing Jalen and Monet really need to, you know, do. Like, you bashed them and made their brand, you know, go down the drain. You should also come online and be like, you know what, I was wrong. Even make a funny little TikTok about it, you know, like, it doesn't have to be that serious, or, you know, you don't have to beg them, you know, but like, you know, kind of realize that, hey, you know, just so that we acknowledge that the things that we do us as content creators, they really do have a huge impact in people's lives, like, for real, for real. God, the heartburn is just, it's so much like heartburn, yo. So let's talk about why it's often black creators. Yeah, I'm black, so obviously I'm only really immersed in black content creators, you know. But I've noticed this, even like with Nara Smith, right? She recently made an Instagram post. I didn't screenshot it, damn it. But like, before that, she had showed herself getting her hair done. Here's the video.
My husband's been begging me to bring my curly hair back, and since he's been out of town and he's coming back tonight, I decided to surprise him. I told him I was getting my hair cut very short today, and he started to panic, which would just make the surprise even better. I haven't worn my hair curly in about 2 years. The decision to chop my hair off wasn't something that I took lightly. After struggling with eczema all over my body and scalp, at one point my scalp got so bad it started bleeding, and washing my hair became almost impossible. I ended up losing so much hair and just didn't feel confident anymore. I made the decision to chop it off and straighten it to give my scalp a break. It was the best decision I could have made for myself, but seeing the curly hair today made me sob in the car. I wasn't the only one. When Lucky got back, he got really emotional. I've never seen that man smile more.
And then there were a lot of comments, negative comments, were like, girl, we know you don't like your black side, that's why you straighten your hair. All these negative comments by other black people saying that she hates herself, she doesn't want to claim her black side. And then I felt so sorry because I saw on her story, she was showing pictures of how her scalp looked like when she has that eczema, and you can just, you know it's painful. Like, I know it's painful. I've never had eczema, but just looking at that, the red, and that looks very painful. And I can imagine if she had curly hair. Curly hair requires more maintenance, let's be honest, okay? Right, you want to wash your hair. You have all these creams that you have to put in your hair to keep your hair moisturized. Exactly. So it does make sense for her to cut her hair short and to straighten it, because when you straighten it, all you have to do is put on a bonnet and go to sleep. You don't have to put on these oils, don't have to wash it, and you know, and I'm sure all those things are sensitive for her hair, but like a lot of people, without knowing why she cut her hair and decided to have that hairstyle, were bashing on her, making up rumors on, you know, who she is, this and that, just being ugly, just being disgusting, you know. And that's how I feel it's been for a lot of black content creators, where as soon as they just like, I don't know what it is, because at the same time we're like, oh, we don't have any black Alex Earl, but as soon as we have a black content creator that's like succeeding, we always find a way to tear them down. Suddenly, oh, I've always felt a way about them. Oh, suddenly, no. Seen that happen to content creators like Jackie Aina, you know, oh, her perfume bottles look cheap. Oh, this is like, are you kidding me? I literally want to explode, because why does it often just happen to us by us? Because the most of the people that were talking about this were other black creators, especially about the Jalen and Monet. And that's the thing, somebody said this, and I think that also adds a bit of context.
Can we all just agree that the only reason why y'all were attacking Jalen and Monet for allegedly buying a property with the slave house on it was because y'all hate Jalen and have been wanting Monet to break up with him ever since they got together? Like, at first y'all wanted them to break up because y'all found out that he was on Love Island and the stuff that he said while he was on the show. And then y'all wanted them to break up because of the whole podcast 50-50 thing. And now y'all want them to break up because he bought this house. And it's like, why? And I bet some of y'all feel real stupid right now because he had to reach out to a genealogist and an architectural historian to confirm the fact that there weren't slaves living on their property. And even if it was, why is it up to them to make sure that every property they they come across has zero ties to slavery. And like most HBCUs were built on plantation land, like Southern and Prairie View A&M were built on plantation land, and they've made no efforts to change the architecture. Instead, they've reclaimed it and repurposed it like Jalen and Monet were doing if it was a slave house. And what's crazy to me is that instead of being happy for Monet and acknowledging the fact that her man got her a house and built her an at-home gym, y'all are trying to shit on it and take away from that happiness when half of y'all niggas won't even buy y'all flowers. And you know what? Jalen and Monet seem genuinely happy in their relationship. Like, I don't think they're breaking up anytime soon. And yet you have other creators on this app who are monetizing off of their toxic and abusive relationships, yet y'all don't have the same energy towards them. Like, shoot, I wish I had a man that has done half of the stuff Jalen has done for Monet. Like, what does your man do for you, huh? Cheat on you? Beat on you? Not give a single fuck about you? Like, come on now. We need to focus on ourselves and our own relationships from now on.
I'm just seeing this quite a lot, where it's like, when people don't approve of your relationship, especially when it's a black woman and they don't like the guy, suddenly they want to bring down the woman as well. Even with Beyonce, you know, the way people hate Jay-Z, and then they're trying to, bring Beyonce down because she's, married to him. Same thing with Nara Smith and the guy, because there was rumors that he's Mormon or whatever. If you look at them, do they look Mormon to you? All the things that they're doing, clearly they just it's just as much as you are Catholic. Have you been to when last did you go to the church? Exactly. That's a whole nother story. But like, they're trying to make Nara Smith to be this person that she's not, that she's clearly stated she's not. She's a trad wife. She's working. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. And that's why I applaud, Jackie for not, showing us her relationship. Because I just know. If she gave us just a teeny bit of what happens in our household, y'all would just drag her down. So happened to, what's her name, Clark? Yeah, she's a successful, content creator as well. And as soon as people caught wind of her, suddenly they're questioning her blackness. That's always the thing. Somehow, people are always going to question your blackness. And it's like, when they weren't at that level, you accepted them as black. But somehow, now that they are successful, you questioning it. Because I saw some people being colorists when it comes to Jalen and Monet. Suddenly, she's not black. I don't know what it is. I don't even know what it is. But like, the policing of aesthetics and wealth and softness is just not accepted. And I think we can boil it down to just jealousy sometimes. But I feel like there's just something much deeper where we just don't like seeing people that look like us succeed. Somehow there has to be some sort of drama around it. We have to find a way to not like them. It makes me tired. People need to know that there's a difference between holding people accountable and just like destroying them. I don't think the internet really knows the difference there. I mean, a whole lot of it is just performative outrage. Yeah, it really is. Because getting mad or making a think piece about someone that a lot of people love gets a lot of views and likes and equals money. So people like to fake hold people accountable, just to be the first that caught it. And I always knew that they were not. You know how that goes. What's also sad is that when these content creators don't accept it, people, you can't take constructive criticism. But like, there's nothing wrong with constructive criticism if you ask for it. But if I didn't ask for it, I don't need it. You don't need to tell me how my wig is this and this and that. I edited the video. I saw it. You don't need to. We as black people in the diaspora everywhere come together as one, as I always say. But like, we should seriously stop being each other's downfalls. Whenever one of us is about to just blow up or let's just stop trying to bring them down. This is why there aren't many of us in these big rooms. We always want, black creators to be, we don't want to support black people that are different from us or that don't act as we think black people are supposed to act. You know what I'm saying? When we hurt them, we're hurting ourselves as well. if you get what I'm saying. Like, we're hurting ourselves, because if we are destroying these content creators, then that means it's just like no people to represent us. You know what I'm saying? Because when, you know, black content creators, most of them, when they do get at the top, they make sure to bring up other, you know, black content creators up. But if we constantly bashing the people that have made it, like, at the end of the day, like, we always gonna remain at the same position. We're not gonna be in the rooms that we want to be in to make actual change. And to you that is watching, that is just a watcher and not, you know, a content creator, like, if you see, you know, videos like that just bashing people for no reason, just think to yourself, like, you know, like, is this true? Wait a couple of days, you know, before you do anything rash, you know, like, give people grace. Like, people be talking nonsense sometimes on here, you know, and just, like, calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like, just calm down. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about this video. And today's shout out of the week, Johnny ZP 7KM. Thank you so much for supporting me, supporting my videos, and let's hope that we can make it to 20k this year. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye.